Welcome to lesson 064 of Online School of Entrepreneurship. I am Dr. Kirian Mfam. In today's lecture, we will dwell on customer development or lean startup pedagogy of entrepreneurship training. Upon completion of this lecture, our audience will be able to apply customer development or lean startup pedagogy in entrepreneurship training. Customer development or lean startup pedagogy of entrepreneurship education training. Customer development and lean startups are two concepts that have quickly reached worldwide adoption among entrepreneurs. These two concepts emphasize the need to quickly validate the hypothesis of whether some products or services create value to people. Now, in customer development or lean startup pedagogy of entrepreneurship education or training, the emphasis here is to determine whether a particular product or service will meet the needs of the people, so that once you create that economic value or want to create that business, there will be a ready market to tap into the product or the service you are about to render. The concept calls for action through experimenting with real-world stakeholders instead of getting stuck in planning and analyzing what might happen. Now, through customer development pedagogy or lean startup pedagogy, you start small and use the first side of the product to experiment, to find out if people have desire for such a product, if there will be demand for such a product or service. That's why it is called customer development or lean startup. Lean startup means you start small. In starting small, you launch the product into the market to test the validity of the product in terms of how the product will be accepted by the people who are in the labor market. It can also be applied to the educational domain, allowing teachers to give robust advice to students on how to manage a value creation process involving outside stakeholders. What this means is that customer development or lean startup strategy can be used even by teachers in teaching entrepreneurship, by giving students advice on how to approach potential customers with the product or service, with the product they have produced or the service they intend to render, to see the extent to which they are going to accept the product or accept the service. Students can ask themselves questions such as, what can we ask a prospective customer today? That is to say, when students are using customer development or lean startup strategy to learn entrepreneurship, they should be able to ask themselves some pertinent questions, particularly the question, what can we ask a prospective customer today? The essence of this question is to find out the particular problem a customer is facing or the need a customer is having, so that that kind of that problem will be addressed or that need will be met. The next question is, how can we test our guesses on real people outside the school? Now, don't forget that entrepreneurship training that is being done in tertiary institutions is done in campus. Therefore, students should be agitated on what they are going to face, or what their products or services will face when they go into the real life environment to meet the actual customers that they are going to take their products or services on. And the last question that's important at this level is, how can we expose ourselves to the risk of being proven wrong? Of course, entrepreneurship itself is risk-taking, and therefore from the very beginning, students will begin to build that culture of taking risk. Therefore, it is pertinent for them to ask this question, the kind of risk they're going to take in terms of whether their product will be accepted in the labor market or whether it should not be accepted. The customer development or lean startup pedagogy helps students to ask the question again, what is the smallest or least complicated problem that the customer will pay us to solve? You see, the focus again is on how to solve customer problems. At this point, the question is, what is the smallest problem that the customer will be willing that I provide service in order to solve, so that the person will be able to pay. Therefore, problem identification is very key when we are developing our customer base or through the lean up pedagogy of entrepreneurship training. Application of customer development or lean startup pedagogy. Customer development is the portion of the lean startup methodology aimed at understanding a problem. That is to say, the way to develop a customer is how to identify a problem that a customer needs, and you now tailor the production of your goods or services to address that concern. Once that concern is addressed, then obviously you have a customer that will be willing to buy the product. This requires first fully vetting an opportunity and validating the proposed solution that indeed will meet the customer's need or demand. Therefore, the first thing to do is to vet opportunity, to identify opportunity based on the need of the customer. Having identified the need, you go ahead to validate the solution. Of course, the solution will be the intervention of a product or service produced by you or rendered by you. So once you identify opportunity, you validate it by ensuring that it will be demanded or needed based on the needs of the customer. There are 4 steps to implement customer development pedagogy, and these include: 1, discover prospective customers. That is to say, interact with people to know their need for your product or service. It is good for you to discover if people will be in need of your product or service. That is to say, you discover prospective customers, that are customers that will be willing to patronize your business. 2, validate prospective customers. Once you discover the prospective customers, you go and validate to be sure that they are real customers, and the assurance can only be obtained if you do trial product or service to ascertain their willingness to give you patronage or to patronize the business. So you must do a trial marketing. You go out with samples to find out if people are in need of those goods or service. 3, create actual customers. Now, having tested or validated the prospective customers, you now create your actual customers by building demand and awareness for the solution for the solution that will be created by the goods you have produced. You create actual customers by creating a network of customers which you are going to reach through appropriate channels that will make it easy for communication between you and the customers. 4, implement the business venture. After creating your actual customers and determining the channel through which you communicate with them, you now implement your business by transforming your startup idea into a real business which is execution focused venture. In the course of this lecture, and in line with our instructional objectives, we were able to apply customer development or lean startup pedagogy to entrepreneurship training. Please support us by 1, following us on our Facebook page, Online School of Entrepreneurship. 2, subscribing to our YouTube channel, Entrepreneurship Teacher. And 3, liking, commenting, and sharing our posts. Thank you, and see you in our next lecture.